Okay, so I saw the Uncharted movie last night. I was not a fan. I was not a fan of it. It was quite the disappointment. Um, I almost walked out of the movie about halfway through. At least I think it was the halfway point. I can't really remember what point in the movie it was, but it was the bar scene, the second bar scene. It's not just the first bar scene at the beginning. There's another one later that makes even less sense. And yeah, that was the point in the movie. I was just like, I really should get out of here. And I was actually with a chick, so I probably should have just left. But I stuck it through and watched the whole movie. And yeah, I don't know. I don't know. Now, there's a lot wrong with this movie. Um, if we're just going to go by an Uncharted standpoint, I think if you're a fan of the video games, there's no way you're going to like this movie. Um, they put little moments from the games, like the scene from Uncharted 3 where he's falling out of the plane, and they start the movie with that, which was a really good start to the movie. Had high hopes when it started, and then it goes into a flashback when he's a kid and he's with his brother from Uncharted 4. So they took a scene from Uncharted 4 and put it in the movie. So, I thought the movie was on a really good jump, really good start. You start with scenes from the other games, and I thought that was going to be the whole movie. It was just going to be, a sequence of all the best moments from the games that they were going to somehow, make a story out of type thing. That's not what happened, though. That's not what happened. That's only the first like 10, 15 minutes, and then it's just all downhill from there. Woof. And I'm telling you, as I'm watching the movie, I'm looking for anything to try to give me my Uncharted fix. Like, they first show adult Nathan Drake, Tom Holland. They show him in a bar, and he's working as a bartender. So I'm like, all right, this is not Nathan Drake at all. And I'm like, well, I'll go with it. Let's just see where this goes. And then he steals, a girl's diamond fucking wristband or whatever. And I'm like, there you go. That's Nathan Drake among thieves. He's a thief. He steals things. This is on the right track now. I mean, perfect. The whole bartender thing is just a facade so he can steal shit from people. There you go. That's a good idea. The him being a bartender, though, I could give two fucks about. I don't know why the movie felt the need to train Tom Holland how to handle, cocktails. Like, I don't understand why Nathan Drake would need that skill set and why it has to show up in the film not once but twice. I just don't know what they were thinking. Just like the scene where he's a kid with his brother, the flashback at the beginning, I thought that was going to be the whole film. I thought we were going to get flashbacks as the film was going. I bet the film would have been a lot better if they did that. You would have had a lot more character development for Nathan Drake and stuff. And, most people seeing this film probably haven't played the games. Most general audience people, they definitely have not played the games. So this is all going to be new to them. So you do have to build the character from the ground up. And they do a decent enough job at the beginning with that flashback scene, but they should have kept it up with the flashbacks as him as a kid. Stumbled over my words right there. I'm recording this pretty late, but yeah, I probably got to edit a lot anyway. Yeah, man, just pure disappointment. Pure disappointment. They could have did so much more with this film, and they really just took the lazy way out. The director, I think, was the director of Zombieland, which was like the only good film I think he made. He certainly is not going to get another chance to make another Uncharted. They'll probably go with somebody else. Movie was high quality, great production values. They put a lot of money into it, and it seems like maybe they reshot a bunch of stuff. That's what it seemed like. The bad guy from the trailers, Antonio Banderas, he is not the main villain of the film. Another super disappointing thing. And, the video games, they do this where they show like the main villain and then the side villain is like the real villain at the end of the game that you have to fight type thing. Except for Uncharted 2, of course. Lazarevich is the main bad guy the whole time. They never changed that. But the first Uncharted, yeah, you got two villains. You think one's the main villain, and then he gets killed by the side villain, and the side villain becomes the main villain. And that's an awesome twist. That's not in a lot of these like action romp films where, you think you got the main villain. He's in all the trailers. You think, oh, this is good. He's a good actor. This is going to be him the whole movie. And then he gets killed by one of his like side henchmen that he hired, and that person becomes a villain. The thing is, the movie does such a poor job executing that. You never really get that much with Antonio Banderas to care. And the person that takes over his role as the villain, you only see one scene of her being like a badass and like cutting some people as they cut away, because this movie has no blood. No blood in this movie. This is like a kiddie PG movie. Another super disappointing thing. But anyway, they don't establish enough of either villain for you to care about either of them, really. And it's such a disappointment because Antonio Banderas is a really good actor. And the moment he gets to actually, act and like, do some backstory for the character, that's the moment he dies. Like the second he gives this long, drawn out, like villain speech, he gets his throat sliced. And I almost laughed out loud when it happened, because she slices his throat all the way across, and it's just one red line and like one little drop of blood. That's it. She cut his jugular and no blood came out. You know what I'm saying? Like, there should be like at least 4 quarts of blood coming out of your neck right there. And the camera actually showed his like I don't know why the camera wanted to show his sliced neck. Because it looked horrible without blood. It looked so fake. And it really brought me out of the movie. Like, I was just like, what the fuck? Like, no one like looked at this and was like, maybe we should cut this scene. Like, maybe we should cut this shot where it looks horrible, where it looks like somebody just put some makeup on his neck. Maybe we should cut that shot. Nobody was like that in this movie. Like, what I'm saying? Nobody in the editing bay had that idea. It's just, the more I think about the movie, the more I get frustrated about it. But let's talk about some of the characters. Those were some of the villains. Antonio Banderas is not the villain. He does not show up until, I would say, 1/3 of the way into the movie. And he's only there for, maybe, a couple scenes, and then they kill him. And then you're with this other villain chick that you don't give a fuck about. And then she gets a fucking ship dropped on her head at the end. Fantastic, right? So she's not going to be back for sequels. Thank God, because I didn't care about her anyway. So let's talk about some of the main characters in the movie. There was Tom Holland playing Nathan Drake. And the movie tried so hard. It tried so hard to make you think that Tom Holland's a man. It tried so hard. They have scenes of him working out and getting all ripped and shit. And I'm like, is this a stunt double? There's no way this is Tom Holland's body. Is that his body? It almost brought me out of the film because it's almost too big to be him. Because you look at photos of him in real life, he's kind of scrawny. He's not this big. Just total miscast, man. And Nolan North actually makes a cameo, the voice of Nathan Drake. He makes a cameo, and it's a really bad, cringy cameo. And he's like, that looks familiar, or I've done something like that. He says something one-liner like that. And it's total, for nothing. It's totally meaningless for nothing. I probably would have been fine if they did an Uncharted, TV show with Nolan North as Nathan Drake or fucking Nathan Fillion as Nathan Drake. I think that would have been much better than doing this movie. Because, goddamn, not only is Tom Holland, not Nathan Drake at all. I think he says, oh, crap, once. And he kind of just acts like his Spider-Man dude the whole time. And the other horrible aspect about this movie is Sully. Mark Wahlberg Sully. He just does this all the time. Huh? You want to go on an adventure with me? Okay, let's go on an adventure. That's literally Mark Wahlberg the whole fucking movie. Literally. I know this is the first story of them meeting, but we saw that in Uncharted 3. We saw them first meet in Uncharted 3, and this is not it. So, this is total bullshit, this movie. Total bullshit. Amy Hennig, The writer for the original Uncharted games, nothing to do with this movie. So they were just winging it, trying to take some good moments from the games and put it in this fucking movie. And yeah, the best jokes you already saw in the trailer. The one joke in the plane where the Scottish guy is talking, and then Tom Holland goes, "What did you say?" And then they start fighting, and then later in the scene he goes, "Well, I can't understand a word you're saying." That was kind of funny. Too bad I already saw it in the trailers. There's nothing else in the movie that really stood out as funny. Mark Wahlberg, just total miscast as Sully. I can't believe they thought it was a good idea to put him as Sully. Of course, his character arc is he only cares about the treasure, he only cares about getting money, and at the end of the movie, he has a choice between the gold or saving Nathan Drake, this guy he just met like a week ago, and he has no real connection to him other than they're both thieves. That's their connection. They're both criminals. So, what does Mark Wahlberg do? He drops the gold and he helps Nathan Drake. For what reason? I don't know. They don't establish any reason in the movie for Mark Wahlberg to do this. He could have easily just got away with the gold and lived happily ever after. But he saved Tom Holland, and Tom Holland had some gold in his pockets, so they got away with something, just like the games. They got a little something to go home with. I just don't get the movie. I don't get the. Oh, and I think Chloe's in this movie too. I barely remember the actress. She was totally forgettable. I can't even picture her face. I'm not even gonna look it up. I'm not even gonna look up the actress's name. She left no impact on the film. But let me just tell you, this film does the classic video game trope of the 3 keys. You got to get 3 keys to get to the treasure in the end, to get to the end of the game. And oh God, this is the best they can come up with. Like nobody thought, nobody thought of anything else. Like it's so frustrating. Like yeah, they've been working on this movie since 2013. I think the original director was like Galvin O'Connor, was it? Is it something Connor something? He directed The Fighter. He directed American Hustle. He was going to direct Uncharted. Can you imagine how badass that Uncharted movie would have been? How awesome that would have been. But those plans fell through, and we got this other director here from Zombieland, and we got Tom Holland. Originally, Mark Wahlberg was supposed to be Nathan Drake. I think that might have fit a little better, but then again, if this is how Mark Wahlberg was going to act if he was Nathan Drake, then either way, it's a shit show. Either way, it's a shit show. Oh, God. I just can't believe they've degraded Uncharted to this level. I mean, I've played all the games. I'm a huge Uncharted fan. I've gotten the Uncharted 3 Collector's Edition with the statue, and it came with the ring. I fucking lost the ring here. I had it with me when I was watching the movie, and when the movie was over, and we walked to the exit, and I took off the ring as I was walking, and I put it in my pocket, and I haven't found it since. It must have fell out in the car somewhere when I sat in the car, so that's how disappointed I was. I was like embarrassed to have like Nathan Drake's ring on my finger, so I took that off and put it in my pocket. That's how embarrassing it was to watch this movie. Just what they did to Uncharted was completely criminal, dude. These games are not kiddie games, and the movie was a kiddie, family-friendly movie. Like, what? What? Like, even Indiana Jones, you have a scene where somebody's fucking face melts off, you know? That's not something you want to show like a fucking 6-year-old or 7-year-old. You don't want to show little kids that. But this Uncharted movie, you could show a little kid this is a little kid movie. You could show them this. I'm not against kid entertainment, but like, it doesn't fit with Uncharted. Uncharted are teen games. You're killing hundreds of people, and everybody that played Uncharted as like preteens and teenagers when we first played those games, we're all adults now. We're all in our like late 20s, early 30s. Why can't we get a more adult Uncharted? Uncharted 4, I think, was rated M, right? I don't know. I think it was rated M for the adult subject matter, I believe. I don't know. I have to look at the case. It's fucking over there somewhere. I just can't believe what they did to my Uncharted. I can't believe it. So disappointing. Like, I could trash movies like, Spider-Man because I could care less about MCU movies. I really don't give two shits, but Uncharted, I love that video game series. I played every game. Um, Huge fan of Naughty Dog. I played every Naughty Dog game. I'm going to watch The Last of Us HBO Max series. That is going to be way better because you actually have writers that worked on the games that are making that series. So that's exciting. But this Uncharted movie, it's just like, I don't know what Sony was thinking. I think they had money to spend and they just bought a bunch of people and they thought, if we hire enough people with enough credits, maybe they can make something good. They didn't do the research with hiring some of these people. They really should have hired people that worked on the games, the writers from the games. They should have went out of their way to go hire those people. And you should have got somebody that resembled Nathan Drake and Sully. That's all you had to do. Get two actors that resemble the characters from the games. Get the writers from the original trilogy of Uncharted games. And there you go. You're on your way. Get a fucking serviceable director too. And I even think the director of Zombieland, I forget his name. He directed Uncharted, but I don't even think he's that horrible of a director. But like clearly he is a pushover because he didn't correct Mark Wahlberg once, dude. As Mark Wahlberg is doing his whole Marky Mark thing, where his eyebrows are up the whole time, and he's like, "Oh, you recognize that map right there? Oh, you a historian?" Like. That's when you're a director. You're supposed to step in and tell him what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like Mark Wahlberg is not going to act on his own. He's just going to do the same shit he always does. So you got to really tell him when to emote and how to emote. Because he doesn't get it. Very disappointing. The more I think about the movie, the more sad I get. It was such a bummer. Like, thank God I was, like, around somebody else to, like, get my mind off it immediately, because I would have been ranting and raving, like, the whole fucking day. So, like, thank God. Thank God I got distracted after the movie, But fuck. I'm thinking about it now. It's been, like, a day. It's been 24 hours. I'm still thinking about how bad Uncharted was. Oof. Oof. Fucking killed me inside. Fucking killed me. Didn't resemble the character at all. And they set it up so well at the beginning of the movie. That's what made it even more disappointing, because the movie starts and you're like, oh, this is going to be fucking good. Like, they're using exact action sequences from the games, and they're going back in flashbacks to, like, the awesome flashback sequences from Uncharted 4 where you see him as a kid, and they're tying the ring, the Sic Parvis Magna ring, into Nathan Drake's character and his relation to his older brother. That's genius. Let's get more flashbacks of him and his older brother as their kids. Let's get more of that. Let's keep fucking building up the ring that he's wearing around his neck that the movie starts on. The movie opens and you see Nathan Drake and you see the ring floating next to his head. The ring is a big part of, like, the start of the movie, and then the movie just goes on. It's like the ring doesn't matter. Why didn't you just make the ring important? You know what I'm saying? You set it up so beautifully. Why don't we have any payoff for it? Oh, because we're saving it for sequel movies? Like, you're going to get a sequel to this movie? Are you out of your fucking minds? When you're shooting a movie, you got to shoot all your bullets. You got to make a fucking good film, man. Like, you can't be relying on sequels and sequel baiting. Like, you got to make a good film first. Who's going to go back and watch this film? Ever? Like, ever. For the one pirate ship sequence, this giant CG pirate ship sequence, which doesn't make a lick of sense. How are they fucking flying these ships through the air and these ships just aren't falling apart? Because they're like, what, they're 300, 400-year-old ships? Like, how are they not, like, just disintegrating as they're flying through the air, from rot and shit? So amazing. In fact, I don't even know how did the helicopter bad guys, like, because the bad guys have helicopters and they, the second Nathan Drake finds the ships, the bad guys are immediately following them and they find the hole that's open. So, like, I guess nobody else in the world found these ships, even though there's a giant hole above them. Nobody else found these fucking ships in this hole. And the helicopters lower ropes, they pull out the fucking ships, they go up and they get out of there, right? And, like, how'd the bad guys get there so quick? How are they so ready to like get in the choppers and get to, like it's a lot of leaps you gotta take in logic, which I don't like. I don't like have to take all these leaps in logic. Oh yeah, back to the 3 keys. Remember how I mentioned the 3 keys earlier? Well, 2 of the keyholes are easy enough. One of the keyhole that they have to turn this key with is fucking it's in the middle of an underground nightclub. And Nathan Drake has to start like serving cocktails to distract people as like Chloe or somebody is turning the key to unlock the thing, which is in the back of the bar. So they have to hop the bar and he has to pretend to be a bartender or whatever. And he gets in a little fight with some bad guys that are following him. Like they had to throw some like pop culture shit. You know what I'm saying? Some like fucking Nicki Minaj shit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I call it. Anytime you see this pop culture club shit, just call it some Nicki Minaj shit. That they have to throw some of that. A lot of that in this movie. A lot of shitty pop songs and stuff like that. Man, they just fucked it up. They fucked it up so royally. And it's good. I think it's made a decent amount of money. It might make $100 million or something. I hope it don't make them more than that. I hope they don't get any ideas to make a sequel. This was really bad. I think it's a critical score is super low too right now. I think it was like below 40 last time I looked. Audience score was above 80. So like people that didn't play the games are watching this and thinking it's fine. I guess kids need entertainment too. Like families need something to watch. I read one review, audience review on Rotten Tomatoes, and it was somebody like, "Oh, thank God I could take a movie with no swearing and no blood." Like, there you go. Here's your Uncharted movie. I guess it accomplishes that. There is no blood. There's no swearing. Like, yes, this is the film to take your whole family to, of course. If you got little kids, this is perfect for them. No sex scenes either, which I found interesting. Just totally garbage. Dude, another scene earlier when they're robbing like this museum to get the key, that they need, and it's they setting it up like it's straight out of Uncharted 4, right? They're setting it up like that, and Nathan Drake has to go find the power to turn it off. He doesn't even get close to finding where the power is, and then he just jumps on the lights and causes a distraction, and that works. So funny, like how little effort was put into this film. I think Tom Holland came out and talked about how much of a nightmare it was to make this film. So that tells me there was a lot of probably reshoots happening. There was a lot of like retakes over and over. Because there was no clear vision. Clearly, there was no clear vision with this movie. The first 15, 20 minutes, I'd say, is solid. It's solid. I even don't mind the bartender scene at the beginning because he actually steals something from somebody. So I'm like, all right, that's in character. You know what I'm saying? But then the rest of the movie, it's just like diarrhea. It's diarrhea, not intelligent at all, not clever at all. The games have clever writing. That's why you play them. They have good stories, clever writing, good character moments. That's why you're playing them. It's certainly not the gameplay. You're not playing these games for like the fucking third-person cover shooting. Like you're playing it to see where the story goes and how these characters are going to get there and get through it, And obviously Nolan North's charisma with Nathan Drake, that's another reason why you're playing the games. And Tom Holland, he's got no charisma. There's nothing there. He's like a generic character number 1 from a wrestling video game. You know what I'm saying? It's painful. It is painful. Like fucking Victor Sullivan, Mark Wahlberg, his first like scene is him in that bar and his eyebrows all raised looking at fucking Nathan Drake because he just saw Nathan Drake steal the diamond fucking wristband thing. God, I don't even know what to call the jewelry. I'm so fucking out of it. But yeah, that's like Sully's first introduction. He's just like his eyes wide open, eyebrows all raised. What you doing? That was the best way to introduce Sully. That's the best way. Dude, they did it so much better in Uncharted 3. Do you remember Uncharted 3? You people watching this Uncharted review for this Uncharted movie, do you remember Uncharted 3? How they met in that game? Nathan Drake, as a kid, pickpockets Sully. There you go. That would have been a great way to fucking introduce it. And you could have kept the kid actor that you used at the beginning of the film. So you had this kid actor. You could have kept doing flashbacks to him as a kid. And that's how you could have introduced them together. God, so many missed opportunities in this movie. It's barely a movie. I'm never going to rewatch this movie again. Like, such trash. I was yawning pretty loud, too. The Sony logo at the beginning, the PlayStation logo, that was cool. That was sexy, that PlayStation logo. That looked really good. It's too bad they can't make a good movie. It's too bad. The Ratchet and Clank movie, I thought it was a serviceable film, but once again, like, it's just missing the magic of Ratchet and Clank. It was so sterile, right? And this Uncharted movie, not only does it feel like totally sterile and like studio meddled shit, you know, it's just no passion in this movie. No foresight, no fucking creativity, nothing. It's like, dude, I'd rather watch all the Tomb Raider movies. Rather watch those. And those do not hold up well. Go back and watch the old Tomb Raider movies. They do not hold up well. Anyway, that's going to do it for now. That's my review. I can't keep thinking about this movie. I got to move on with my life. Yeah, I recognize that trailer that they were doing something different with Nathan Drake. And I'm like, well, if they could just keep some of these character things the same, maybe I'll like it. And it's just like they took whatever little pieces they wanted and mix-matched it together. And they didn't even fucking follow through with half the shit they were introduced at the beginning of the film. They didn't even follow through with. Like the rain, you know what I'm saying? Like, he has the rain. Like, why didn't you make the rain like one of the artifacts he needed to find the treasure? Just like Uncharted 3. The rain is like the main key to get the thing to find the fucking Aram of the Pillars. Why didn't they do that in this movie? Like, you had such a focus on his rain in the first 15 minutes, and then you just drop it. Like, it doesn't exist anymore. They were doing too much cocaine while writing the script, probably. That's probably what's happening. Anyway, that's it for now. I give this 1 out of 10. The music was not that great either. Where's the Uncharted thing? Did they not get the licensing for that? PlayStation owns this. It's their movie. Sony and PlayStation's movie. Why aren't we using music from the game? I'm thinking you could make an edit of this movie, and you could edit out half the trash, and you could put, like, you know, Uncharted soundtrack over it. If you use the Uncharted 4 soundtrack from that game, I bet that would go perfectly with this movie. I bet you could, like, edit a real cool, like, hour, 30-minute film out of this. It wouldn't have any character development, but you have some action scenes, and you would have the good music from Uncharted 4. I bet I could probably do that, but again, I don't know how much I want to look at this film. Anyway, that's it for now. Comment below. Let me know what you think of Uncharted. How much it disappointed you. How much it broke your soul. Let's pray to God they don't get another Uncharted, and let's just all move on. And one day they're going to get a video game adaptation right. I thought, you know, the World of Warcraft movie, what was it called? Warcraft? I thought that was fine. I didn't see Sonic yet because, I mean, you know, I'm not 5. You know, the Mario Brothers movie with John Leguizamo, whatever you say his name. Leguizamo? From the 90s? That movie's tight. Love that movie. Anyway, that's it for now. Bye-bye.
So let me in the fucking house!